Groaners, welcome into another deep dive into the Groan Zone for the 78th time, getting ever closer to that magic number, which is 100. Your games this week are the £5 Countdown, Double Down Dummies, and Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. All the sections are present accounted for, and here it all begins with my groans. Corridors. So, you're walking down the corridor, and two people in front of you are also walking. However, they are taking up the full width of the corridor. Nice as you please, you ask to pass by, but they ignore you. What have I got to do? Screaming abuse at you to let me by? Have some consideration for people behind you. Cyclists. Make up your mind. Do you want to cycle on the road or the path? If it's the road, you stay on the road. You don't hop onto the path to bypass traffic lights, nearly hitting people along the way. I firmly believe you should start paying road tax or insurance and be identified if you cause an accident. Also, you can shove your cycle lane demands somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. There's only one or two people using them in the northeast anyway, and that's in a year. Cinema ticket prices. I had a funny feeling someone out there knew this was coming. So the little value cinemas are being choked out by bigger cinemas. But the bigger cinemas ramp up the prices for entry and also for snacks. Just lower the prices for God's sake. We're probably going to hit another recession. If it's a 2-hour film, are you going to charge us £7 an hour? How long before they start checking your pockets, your bags for snacks, and then they charge you for that as a sort of sugar tax? Don't want to give me any ideas. Anyway, that's my trio of groans giving their countdown for this week. But speaking of countdowns, it's time for the 5-point countdown. Of course, you know by now. If not, you're new. You get 5 clues. Where you get the answer is where you get points. But if you change your mind and you're wrong, then you get none unless you change to a right answer before we get to the 1 point. Okay? With that being said, here we go. Clue number 5 for 5 points. When I'm about, you may find yourself soaked. One more time. Clue number 5 for 5 points. When I'm about, you may find yourself soaked. If you're playing along live now, you give me the answers in that play along section. If you're listening, press pause, answer, unpause. What we got? So we've got rain. Any other ones coming in? Any more? Oh, someone's typing. Oh, they're not typing anymore. Okay. Moving on. Clue number 4. I help things with hydration. That clue one more time. Clue number 4 for 4 points. I help things with hydration. Any more guesses coming in, Groaners? Remember, if you're playing along once this is recorded, you press pause now, you answer and you unpause. Any more answers coming in live? Nope. No more answers. Okay. Someone's typing again. I'll give them a second. Someone else has put rain. Clue number 3 for 3 points. I'm part of the Earth's natural cycle. Clue one more time. Clue 3 for 3 points. I'm part of the Earth's natural cycle. Any more? Oh, someone's typed in water. Someone's typed in cloud. Okay. Alright. And moving on. Clue number 2 for 2 points. I may cause flooding. Clue 2 for 2 points again. I may cause flooding. Someone's typed in wave. Well, I can see what you're going for, but okay. And clue number 1 for 1 point. In some places, I am never present. Clue 1 last time. Clue 1 for 1 point. In some places, I am never present. Oh, we've got more answers coming in for rain. Okay. Yep, rain's coming in a lot. Okay. Alright. That's the 5-point countdown finished with. The answer will be given at the end of the show. And now from countdowns, we swap to creepy with Admin Nicole's creepy corner. And your story for this week's episode is The Damage is Done. The king promised to handle his sons better from now on. He apologised for the trouble the first prince caused. He inherited his mother's ability to travel through dreams and has been destroying any dreams in his way, all trying to find a way back to his realm of dreams. The guilty felt that being the only one there when his mother was kidnapped had never left him, but it was starting to consume him. He is heir to the throne, but the king wasn't going to let him rule. Instead, he will be given a trial when he recovers. If the people still don't want him to rule, then the king will choose someone who is more worthy to watch over the realm. No one knew where the second prince was. He took off one day, saying he had to find himself within nature. The king always hoped they would get to meet again someday, but you never did know with him. The youngest prince was always the favourite. He was the only one born to rule. He cared about his people and was always studying to find new ways to better the place. It's probably why his brother wanted him to think he was cursed. The king had suspected the first prince knew the badges did nothing and their transformations were just a part of them. Just then, the guards announced that Marianne had come back. It was finally time to go home. They had to hurry before they got stuck there for another week. The king handed them the prince's badge and asked to apologise on his behalf. The old man smiled and promised he would. Just before they left, Valencia told the king about the new realm that would soon come to be and the child the youngest prince was to have. The king smiled, hoping it would be a chance to start anew for them. Maybe he could even try to fix the time problem with the barrier so he could see his son again someday. It was about time his people could come and go as they pleased as well. He would get his scholars to fix the time difference on the barrier as soon as they could. After arriving home though, there wasn't much to look at. Half the town was already gone and the mayor was nowhere to be seen. Viola explained what happened as Marianne turned back into her human form. Coco was able to use what she had at home to make a chocolate that would give Marianne more control over which form she took. It meant no longer waiting to fall asleep for her soul to leave her body. She could change at will now. Coco destroyed the protective stone she gave Marianne to use in the chocolate, which allowed her body and soul to switch places at will instead of leaving her body open to attack while she slept. That fixed one problem, but the forest is gone, the cabin too, all of it destroyed. Coco barely got the wolves and the other animals out in time. Half the town was destroyed. The mayor broke into the shop and stole the alligator that was locked away, although he wasn't prepared for its power and only destroyed half the town with the forest. Luckily, Coco was able to take back her wings before then, but Prince Dread was now stuck as an owl. They got everyone evacuated from town and Viola got the factory shut down, with Kronos relocating the souls in a nursery elsewhere and the golems shutting down and protecting the vault. The Metal Three were somewhere nearby checking for anyone that might have been left behind, and Rosa lost an arm, so she and her sister Lila were off looking for fabric so she could make herself a new one. I'm sorry, I should have been here. I didn't know the Nightmare Realm moved slower in time. I was meant to be gone for a few days, but I was gone for a week, and look what happened, the old man said. You did it to protect us, and we protected the town in your absence. The people are safe, and the town might not be, but we'll find somewhere else. I'm sure everyone will come home then, Coco replied. Valencia saw Prince Dread in his owl form and walked over to him. She showed him the badge and told him it did nothing. There was no curse. He just forgot who he used to be, like his brothers, when his mother passed. She gave his father's message and somehow it was enough to break the chains that the past had put on him all those years ago. He was just a child, and yet like his brothers, losing their mother somehow made them lose such a big part of themselves. He was able to change back to normal, but he still couldn't help but break down upon being told what happened to his mother. Valencia didn't want to have to be the one to tell him of her gruesome passing, but she had to. The old man was in no state to do it after seeing the town, but at least now the prince was freed from the pain he cursed himself to bear for far too long. Just then, small footsteps could be heard approaching, and everyone rushed to their feet ready for whoever was coming for them. It was Ivy. She hadn't been seen in months, yet she was there, stepping over the rubble of mostly broken down town, without a care in the world. I wondered when you'd be back, Uncle. This isn't somewhere for you to be though, not right now. The town's a mess, and that means nowhere to hide. Dr. Barnabas Quack is back after all, Ivy said. She rolled up the sleeve on her dress, revealing a sort of branding at the top of her arm. a number with some text above it. DX11 it read. The old man felt his blood run cold. That's not possible. There are only 10 of us, he said. Really? A cliffhanger, Nicole? You're gonna do that to us, are you? She loves doing that. Unlucky for us that we'll have to wait another week for more creepy. Speaking of unlucky, it's time for Oh Unlucky! I'll just say, this week's Oh Unlucky isn't a funny one, kind of more of a warning. A YouTuber was horrified and unlucky enough when she discovered her AI clone begging for a Chinese husband and promising to do household chores on the internet in a series of videos. Her likeness had been used without her knowledge, and she found the videos to be in very bad taste. The 20-year-old only found out about them when her YouTube subscribers alerted her to them on Chinese social media platforms. Be aware, everyone, this could happen to any one of us, as the creators of this fake you don't ask for your permission. Be aware. And with that being said, let's have a bit more fun with Double Down Dummies. Everyone's ready to play along live, and I'm sure, since you're listening, you're ready too. Round 1. Our 25-year-old hero was a chem student and had a peculiar habit of dipping gum in citric acid crystals. But how did this habit lead to his death? Was it option A? He dipped into the wrong substance. Upon putting the gum back into his mouth, the lower part of his mouth was blown off. Turns out it was explosive. He dipped into an error. Was it option B? He dipped into the wrong acid, and in pain shock he swallowed the gum upon tongue contact. He died when his stomach was burned through once a reaction took place. And option C, his roommate came home and surprised him, whereby he swallowed the gum. The Heimlich maneuver didn't work and he choked to death on the gum. Go Groaners, playing along live, give me your answers. You're playing along at home, press pause, answer unpause. We've got B's flying in there. And we've also got A's flying in there as well. And a couple of C's. Across the board again. Any more? You're out of time. Moving on. Round 2. So, it's the year 2000 and a teen was curious about playing Russian roulette. He loaded the gun and spun the barrel, and well, you know the rest if you've seen movies, etc, etc. But how did this lead to his death? Was it option A? He was unlucky enough to get the bullet and tragically his life ended there and then. Was it option B? He had second thoughts and flung the gun away, but it went off upon landing. Our Darwiner did not make it, but the bullet did do its job. Or was option C? He loaded 6 bullets in the gun, thereby increasing the chances of death to 100% and his chances of survival to 0. Needless to say, he didn't make it. Go Groaners live, give me your answer. At home, pause, unpause. Oh, hang on a sec. We have C's and B's flying in. Okay, but no one went for the practical answer, which would have been A. Okay, I'll say that now. A is wrong. If anyone's playing along live or at home, A is wrong. But more answers to come later. They'll be revealed later in the show. But time for a bit more groaning, but this time it's from one of you out there in groan space, which I'm going to call, where you listen, wherever you are, it's called groan space. Okay? Welcome to the audience groan. This week's rolls in from Craig M, from Stanley, and he groans in via email. And he says, people faffing about, aka looking for the passport in the queue at the last minute, it really doesn't tickle my pickle, as it means every other sod needs to wait longer. That is a very good groan, Craig. If you'd like to groan in, send in a Hero or Zero of the Week nomination, your unlucky story, or your why or why, you can do so in a number of ways. Here they are. You can email us at thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can drop us a message on Facebook Messenger. You can hit up admin Nicole at Nicole Amos, or myself, Mystery Groaner, at Mystery Groaner. You can join in the fun on Facebook groups at the Groan Zone Podcast. You can join on Discord under the Groan Zone, or you can comment on any episode and it'll be picked up as without you, there wouldn't be an audience section, dear Groan crew. That's enough of the groans for a week. We now zip over to ask, why oh why? Okay, the hunt for Nessie, aka the Loch Ness Monster, has been going on since forever. Countless amateur fishermen and divers and other experts, etc., have probed the depths of the loch. But we've gone to a whole new depth of stupidity now by asking NASA to get involved. NASA, Nessie, come on. I've just got to ask, why oh why? Why oh why will return next week, but instead of a zero now, we have a hero of the week with, of course, Hero of the Week. This week's Hero of the Week goes out to a 16-year-old Jamaican lad called, and I'm probably going to butcher this, so I do apologise, Nicole Bramwell. Why? Well, he's only gone and busted Usain Bolt's world record in an under 17s 400 metre event. He busted it by 0.07 seconds. Usain set that record when he was 15 years old. Careful, Usain. Nicole's coming for your records. And now it's time for the last game this week. This will be in the show notes, by the way, so if I butcher this, you can look in the show notes. It's Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. Your anagram is ashamed, hawked, Thoth. Your clue is that it has a skull and a pattern on it associating it with evil. See, I was thinking pirates or something like that, but I'm probably way off. Probably. Good luck, Groaners. The answer will be coming for that one next week. And that neatly swerves us on to the answers for this week's games and one from last week. Your first one, what the hell am I for? Well, a few of you out there gave verbal and email answers. You were right in a roundabout way, so I'll let it slide. The answer was indeed GPS shoes. Why not just use your phone? But okay, I digress. And yet, many people on the £5 countdown got straight in there with clue number 5. The answer was indeed rain. Moving on, double down dummies. Round 1, your correct outcome was A. He dipped into the wrong substance upon putting the gum back into his mouth. The lower part of his mouth was blown off. Turns out it was explosive. He dipped it into an error. Why not just chew the gum like a normal person without the aid of citric acid crystals? I ask you. Round 2. Your correct outcome was C. He indeed loaded 6 bullets into the gun, thereby increasing the chances of death to 100% and his chances of survival to 0. Needless to say, he didn't make it. I mean, just why? It's roulette, a game of chances. Albeit extremely dangerous in this case. Why stack the odds totally against you? I don't get it. I read this story and I couldn't understand. It's meant to be 1 bullet, not 6. Ugh. And that's the answers. So some of you playing along live or listening along at a later date got points. Well done. Remember, if you're having a groan-a-thon, you start from episode 1. Otherwise all the story will be out of sync and everything else. Okay? Take care, Groaners. We'll return next week. See ya. Bye-bye.